Well, England's played and won its first game. Let's have a chat about some of these headlines that are coming out of the World Cup, shall we? Hi, it's me again. And yeah, as I said, we've got a few headlines. We'll just have a general chat about World Cup stuff. Because one of the headlines that popped up earlier was this one. Look at this. England and Wales players won't wear One Love armbands after being threatened with bans. So yeah, there was talk about the captains wearing these One Love armbands. I don't know if it was the captains or all the players. But One Love is like a rainbow flag. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. One Love and all of that, right? And think of it what you will. And yeah, it is bad that these things aren't allowed in that country. But there's many things we don't allow in our country that they would also think is weird. And yeah, I'm just starting to get a bit fed up with all this having a go at the Qatarians. If you don't like the country and you don't agree with how they work, don't go there. That's why I've never been to one of those countries. I was supposed to go on holiday a few years ago to Marrakesh, a little family thing we was doing. And I found out that the hotel we was in was right next door to the main central mosque, pretty much. And I was going to get woken up at silly o'clock in the morning by the prayer call. Now, it's not my cup of tea, that sort of thing. Many of you, I'm sure it is your cup of tea, but it's not mine. So I decided to not go and I went to Spain instead, which started my Spanish adventure. Long story, doesn't matter. But yeah, I wouldn't go to one of these countries. Like, I'm not vegan, right? And you couldn't pay me to go to a vegan restaurant. I like eating meat. I don't agree with veganism in the slightest. So I wouldn't go to a vegan restaurant. The same as I wouldn't go to one of these countries. So I'm getting a bit fed up with all these people and all these players complaining about the human rights and stuff like that. If you don't like it, don't go there. No one made you go, did they? Beers go flying in pubs as jubilant England fans celebrate record start with millions going wild at home. I doubt very much anyone was flinging beer about if you were an England supporter, an actual England supporter, not a paid one, because that was a joke as well. Can you believe that? But anyway, if you were a real England supporter in Qatar and you'd managed to get your hands on a beer, I doubt you were flinging it about. 12 quid for, like, what was it, a 500ml can of Budweiser. Sod that. I don't like Budweiser. I'd drink it if it's all there was available, obviously. But yeah, they're struggling to get it. And then you can't get any beers at the games anymore. You're never going to be able to drink during the game. That was never a thing. But you're supposed to be able to get a beer 2 hours before the game and an hour after the game. Now, the only place you can get a beer is in Doha in the main fan centre. And it's rammed solid. They're stopping people getting in there. There's been some problems with trampling and stuff like that. Awful, awful. And then you see headlines like this, because this next headline, they're going to change over the next few weeks. You're going to see, I've seen enough banged up abroad to know there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. The Qatarians get fed up with you eventually. Look at this one. England fans enjoy wild night out with Qatari Sheikh's son and play with his lion club in Palace while hunting for beers. So a few English lads out on the town in Qatar, probably Doha, I'd imagine. I haven't read the entire thing. And they stopped and they asked some people where they could get a drink. And he said, "You want a party? You come with me." Now, first of all, if a sheikh stopped and said, "You want a party? Come with me," I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I'm all right. Thanks very much. I'm going to go back to my hotel with their security guards. Thank you." But no, they jumped in and it was a big palacey place and the son of some Qatari sheikh, and they had a great time and they had monkeys and wild animals there and stuff like that. Struggling to find out if they did have alcohol, because I'm sure they've been told to keep that on the DL a bit by whoever invited them to the party. But I've seen enough banged up abroad to know there's only one way this is going, right? Because there was one of my favourite shows, Banged Up Abroad. And there was about, I think it was in Abu Dhabi, or it could have been Qatar. And he was a civilian, but he worked on a military base. And loads of people kept asking, "Where can I get booze? Where can I get booze?" So he brewed his own wine and beer and supplied it. And he became like a bit of an underground cult hero for supplying beer. He was the man you called. And he started supplying whiskey to some of the locals, some of the higher up locals. And what happened? They grassed him up. That's where this is going to go. That's where this is going to... There's going to be bad headlines about this. The more this happens, because now it's been in the paper, the England fans will be sitting at home tonight, not drunk, obviously, in their hotel rooms, reading the paper, see stuff. "Oh, we'll try that. We'll try that." And then they'll end up in some Qatarian place and they'll be drinking illegal beer, illegal whiskey, whatever, and the police will bust him and you're going to get nicked. Don't do it. Don't mess with the locals. Stick to the official drinking places. If you can't get into any of the official drinking places, don't drink. It's simple, isn't it? There's going to be bad. I'm sure of it. I've seen enough. Maybe I'm just so cynical now that everyone's bad in the world. But no, I'm sorry. They don't like drinking in this country. That's why they've banned the alcohol before and after the games now. They're trying their best to stop it. There's going to be horror stories. It's going to be horror stories. So if you want to know more about these articles, go talk about them all. But I just thought it was interesting because the beer thing it just goes with football. I say I'm not an alcoholic and I'm not promoting drinking, but it's part of football, isn't it? I'm not the world's biggest drinker, but if I go to a game, I'm going to drink a beer. And I think the fans should be allowed, but then their country, they don't allow beer. If you knew it was coming, shouldn't have gone, should you? Like I said, I don't agree with veganism. You wouldn't catch me in a vegan restaurant. No different here. Let me know what you think about these down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And that way, hopefully, I'll see you in another video again soon. Ta-da.